Itmar. It was stated by Amoraim. Shabbos v'Yom Tov. If you have Shabbos and Yom Tov one day following the next, Rav Amar Nolda B'Zasra B'Zeh. He holds that if it was laid on the first day, it's forbidden on the second day. Rabbi Yochanan Amar Nolda B'Zeh Muteres B'Zeh. That if it was laid on the first day, it's permitted on the second day. This Hachana D'Rabba that we were talking about beforehand, that's the source of their dispute. Now, it's not talking about the actual Hachana D'Rabba, because the Hachana D'Rabba is specifically where it would be laid on the second day. An egg, if it was laid on the second day, it means that it was completed on the previous day. And Rabba had a drasha that the pasuk in Shmos says, "Vayabayom hashishi v'hechinu chol mechin l'Shabbos v'chol mechin liyom tov ve'ein yom tov mechin l'Shabbos ve'ein Shabbos mechin liyom tov." So that's the actual drasha that if it was laid on a Shabbos following Yom Tov, or if it was laid on a Yom Tov following Shabbos, it would be biblically forbidden based on an assumption of Muksa Daraisa, and you need some kind of achana of a weekday beforehand. But here we're talking about something that was laid on the first day, whether that first day is Yom Tov or the first day is Shabbos. It was laid on the first day, so really it should be permitted. But if you recall, they made a gzeira of Yom Tov D'Alma Atu Yom Tov L'Achar Shabbos, and they made a gzeira of Shabbos D'Alma Mishum Shabbos Achar Yom Tov. So they're having dispute on the biblical level of Hachana D'Rabba, and related to it whether there would be this Gzeira D'Rabbanan. So that's the source of the dispute. That Rav holds by this D'Oraisa and therefore by the Gzeira, and it would hold that Nolda B'Zeh is Asura B'Zeh. Rabbi Yochanan would say that Nolda B'Zeh Muteres B'Zeh because he doesn't hold by Hachana D'Rabba. At the Rav, Islay Hachana D'Rabba, Rabbi Yochanan Islay Hachana D'Rabba. The time alone Kirav. And in this we establish, like Rav, even though in general, when we have a dispute between Rav and Rabbi Yochanan, we would expect to rule like Rabbi Yochanan. In this case, we rule in accordance with Rav. Because the Amar Rava, Hilchos HaKavased Rav B'Hanei Tflas. There's a set of 3 dinim where we rule in accordance with Rav, whether Rav is the more lenient or is the more stringent. Chada Hada Amran, and the first of them is this that we just said about this dispute of Hachana D'Rabba, and if Shabbos and Yom Tov and something was laid on the first day, is forbidden on the second day. So we rule in accordance with Rav in that respect. The Idach, and another one, the Itmar, that it was stated again by Amoraim. Beis Yamim Tovim Shel Golias. If you have a general Yom Tov, we're not talking about Rosh Hashanah here, but a general Yom Tov, where we have Yom Tov Sheni Shel Golias out of doubt of what the actual day of Yom Tov is. So we have 2 days. So Rav Amar Nolda B'Zeh Muteres B'Zeh. Rav holds that if it was laid on the first day, it is permitted on the second day. Rav Asi Amar Nolda B'Zeh Asura B'Zeh. Rav Asi holds that if it was laid on the first day, it's forbidden on the second day. And in this case, Rav is actually more lenient. The Idach, and the third case is the Itmar, that it was stated again by Amoraim. Shneim Tovim Shel Rosh Hashanah, Rav Shmuel D'Amri Tarvayu, both Rav and Shmuel, they both say that Nolda B'Zeh Asura B'Zeh. That if it was laid on the first day of Rosh Hashanah, it's forbidden even on the second day of Rosh Hashanah. Now next, Beitza Rif B'Shabbos of Yom Tov, and an egg which was laid on Shabbos or Yom Tov, Lo Mibayil Michla Dasir. You don't even need to state that to eat it is forbidden. Ela Filu L'Taltal Nami Asir. But even to move it is also forbidden. D'Tanya, because we learned in a Beitza. Achas Beitza Shenolda B'Yom Tov, Achas Beitza Shenolda B'Shabbos. Both an egg that was laid on Yom Tov or on Shabbos. In Metaltal Lonosa, we don't move it. Lo L'Chasot Ba'Esakli, not to cover a vessel, below l'smoch ba karei hamita, and not to support the legs of a bed. But you overturn a vessel on top of it so that it doesn't get broken. Usfeka asura, and its doubt is asur. If you're uncertain about whether it was this egg was laid on Shabbos or Yom Tov, it's asur. And if it was mixed with 1,000 others, they're all forbidden. Okay, next. The Haida Amrinon, Shabbos Yom Tov, Nolda B'Zestra B'Zeh. This that we were saying that we had Itmar in a dispute between Rav and Rabbi Yochanan, and we said Shabbos Yom Tov, Nolda B'Zestra B'Zeh. Loshna Shabbos Achar Yom Tov, Loshna Yom Tov Achar Shabbos. Doesn't matter whether it's Yom Tov or Shabbos, which is the first of the 2 days. Tekayim Lan Kirapa, because we hold like Rabba, the Amar Chol Mechin L'Shabbos, V'Chol Mechin L'Yom Tov, V'Ein Yom Tov Mechin L'Shabbos, V'Ein Shabbos Mechin L'Yom Tov. V'Tanya Nami Hachi, and we also have a brayso in accordance with this, that Nolda B'Shabbos Te'achel B'Yom Tov. If something was laid on Shabbos, it can be eaten on Yom Tov. Nolda B'Yom Tov Te'achel B'Shabbos. Rabbi Yehuda Omer Mishum Rabbi Eliezer Adayin Hu Machlokes. This case is also Machlokes. Shebay Shammai Omrim Te'achel, Beis Hillel Omrim Lo Se'achel. V'Kaim Elon Rabbi Yehuda, and we hold not like the Tanakama, but like Rabbi Yehuda. V'Amina Nami, we also say that the following thing: Ushbiz Zichnei Rav Ada bar Ava. The host of Rav Ada bar Ava Havilei Hanach Beitza Yom Tov L'Shabbos. He had eggs which were laid on Yom Tov to going into Shabbos, and it was the first day. It was this Yom Tov here. Asal L'Kamei, and he brought it. He came before Rav Ada bar Ava, and Amrlei Mahu Latvinhu Ha'idna U'Lemechelinhu U'Machar. Can I roast these today on Yom Tov and eat them tomorrow? So Amrlei Rav Ada bar Ava asked him, Madatich, what exactly is your thought process here? Is it that Rabbi Yochanan halacha Rabbi Yochanan? That's a general rule, so maybe we'd apply it in this case. So let's assume that for a second. Kan lo kasher Rabbi Yochanan el gama l'machar. He was only talking about swallowing it the next day raw. Aval, and that next day being Shabbos. Aval l'taltalinhu b'yomei, but to actually move it on the day that it was laid. No, he wouldn't say that. Disanya, because we learned in the brayso, achas beitza shenolda b'Shabbos v'achas beitza shenolda b'Yom Tov. In metaltalun asa, we don't move it. That brayso that we cited about lo l'chasas basachli, lo l'smoch ba karei hamita. Another similar case where the host of some Rav comes and asks him a question. Ushbiz zichnei dvav papa avle hanach beitza mishabbos liyom tov. So he had these eggs from Shabbos going into Yom Tov. Asal l'kamei Rav Papa, and he came before Rav Papa to ask him about their halachic steps. Can I eat them tomorrow? He obviously wasn't planning on roasting them that day because that first day was Shabbos. But he wanted to know the next day, which was Yom Tov, could he cook them and eat them? He said, go now and go away now and come back tomorrow and ask. Why is that? Rav in general wouldn't appoint a speaker to announce any kind of halachic ruling from Yom Tov to the next day because of drunkenness. That's once Yom Tov came in, so he was drinking and he didn't want to render a halachic decision while drunk because he might mess something up. And similarly, Rav Papa here had drunk something, so that he didn't want to render a halachic decision. Yasalam Achar, when the host of Rav Papa came the next day, Amar Lei, Eichu Hashta Ishtalei. If I had rendered a decision beforehand, I would have made mistakes. It's a good thing that I waited, because otherwise I would have erred. And I would have told you the following thing: the general principle that Rav Rabbi Yochanan halachak Rabbi Yochanan, that when a dispute between Rav and Rabbi Yochanan, we rule in accordance with Rabbi Yochanan. However, Rava said the following thing: that Hilchos Kavasei de Rav Bahanei Tlas bein l'kula bein l'chumra, as we discussed above. Okay, so Beitza Rif Yomi hadekel b'Shabbos, and wood, that is branches which fall from a palm tree on Shabbos, asur l'hasikon b'Yom Tov. It's forbidden to use them as firewood on the Yom Tov, the day after Shabbos. Mishum hachana derabba. V'im nashur min hadekel b'Yom Tov. And if they fell from the palm tree on Yontif, asur l'hasikon b'Yom Tov. It's forbidden to use them on that same Yom Tov, b'fnei atzman, by themselves, mishum dahavile nolad, because it's nolad, it's during the same day. And the sages forbade it lest you climb up and separate them yourselves. If they fell from the palm tree directly into the oven, we can conduct ourselves in regard to them like Rav Masna. Damar Rav Masna, Eitzim shenashru min hadekel saner b'Yom Tov. Amar ba'alehem eitzim muchanim. You can increase upon those branches that fell directly into the tanner on Yom Tov. You can increase upon them prepared wood, umasi cotton, and use them for firewood. V'akol gav dekam hapech b'isura. And even though you're turning over the Isser and thus moving it like that, Kevan, the Ruba Hateiranin, since the majority of them are permitted, Hanach Batla Beruba. These ones are nullified in the majority. And he's turning over in the permitted ones. V'afal gav the kaimalan ein mevat nosu l'chachila. Hanimile isura da'oraisa. We say that you're not allowed to nullify an isur l'chachila only by biblical things. Aval isura rabbanon mevat l'chachila l'chachila. V'afal gav the kaimalan k'Rav Ashi, and even though we established like Rav Ashi damar kol davar sheyesh lo matirin afilu be'elef lo batel, if it eventually will become permitted, it doesn't become nullified even in 1,000, so how are you marbalim behetera and able to use it? Vafilu b'dirabanan, and this is true that it doesn't become nullified even in 1,000. Alahani eitzim shenashur min hadekel b'Yom Tov davar sheyesh lo matirin hein. And these branches that fell from the palm tree on Yom Tov are something that eventually will become permitted. Because tomorrow they're going to be okay. Now when it's actually present in its total form that you can see it and it's there. But in this case, it's getting reduced as they burn, so it's fine.